Hi everyone and welcome. This is another pick a card reading specially dedicated for Mondays, the 20th of July, new moon taking place in the sign of Cancer. New moons generally represent a new beginning, or it could play out as a fresh start, or at least something fresh and new, innovative, a karmic event, or maybe an inner initiative which starts something new, either a new chapter, a new beginning, or it could actually play out as something very, very innovative, like a good idea, or the result of a brainstorming which upgrades something already existent in your life and it takes it to a whole new level. Regardless of how this new moon might play out in our lives, this isn't very simple, this isn't an average new moon, because it forms a perfect opposition to Saturn, so it's extremely karmic, and its usual symbolism may stray a little bit, because it can either represent strings attached, it could either represent a compromise, or a rather significant and heavy sacrifice that you must do for that new beginning, but at the same time it could be just karmic, where an ending precedes this new moon and that will start out something totally new in your life. So for some people, chances are that it's something really, really positive, because Saturn has also a very positive and rewarding side to it, because if you have done the work, if you have done the sacrifice, well then there is absolutely no reason why it cannot allow you to have your will, what you have worked for, a harvest, or enjoying the fruits of your labor. So just look at the three pile of cards for a couple of seconds, then choose the one which appeals to your intuitive senses the most, then just listen to the interpretation. Thank you so much for playing, and please enjoy the interpretation of the pile that you have chosen. So we get to the first pile, and your cards are the Magician, the Knight of Coins reversed, and the Ten of Cups. This is a really, really lovely combination, but it represents different things for different people. So pile 1 actually has 3 separate versions to it, so just choose the one which resonates the most or which applies most to your individual situation. So for some people, this Magician actually represents their own magical journeys, their own efforts and magical work to manifest something really big in their lives. And chances are that this is an ongoing process, an ongoing attempt, which you have, tried several different methods, several different ways to manifest something in your life over the course of the past year. So this magical process or this initiative of yours started somewhere at the beginning of 2019, or for some people even earlier than that. But the main goal was simply to find a material stability in your lives, a greater material stability, because you are very spiritual people. Like, you actually represent and embody the archetype of the Magician. So manifesting, exploring the universe, the multi-dimensional reality with your mind, with your emotions, dwelling in alternate states of consciousness, everything that has to do with magic, with the occult, with spirituality, your own research, your own exploration, your own experiences about this are very, very important for you. But since the Knight of Coins is reversed, well, it represents that your material life is kind of challenging that. Either you have to work way too much to support yourself, and that means you don't have enough time to, invest as much time and as much of your energy into what is really, really important for you. Or it could mean that you're basically struggling materially, or that you cannot find a harmony, a balance between your spiritual life and your material life, despite your efforts and your wisdom and your deep knowledge of psychology, because you are someone who knows what that balance should look like, who knows what that balance requires you to do, but it simply doesn't come together in a very human way. So you had no other choice than to use the best of your abilities, your magical knowledge, your magical practices, your spirituality, to create that kind of balance for yourself, because you might have started from the idea that if your human self or your human intellect just simply cannot find the appropriate balance, and this isn't like self-critical, because we live in a time and a world where how could you outsmart society? Everything is an illusion, everything is full of toxicity and challenges, so immersing deeply into a material aspect of life is absolutely self-defeating, and that is why you might have given all your trust to the divine intelligence, to the universe, to the forces of magic or spirituality to help you out with this. And since this new moon is opposing Saturn, well, that simply represents the time for manifestation, and that is exactly what's going to happen. But just don't expect it all in one go. Don't expect a sudden change of everything where you just fall into a new reality. It's going to be a little bit slower than that, but not, painstakingly slow. But the end result is the Ten of Cups. So the answer to all of your prayers, or the manifestation to your magical work, might actually come in the shape and form of a person who has like very, very strong spiritual knowledge, but their spiritual knowledge is very, very different from your own, and that is why the Ten of Cups shows a beautiful alliance, a beautiful partnership, where this person is, it's going to envelop you with their nurturing powers. They might be a very strong water sign, or they might, practice the water sign specific spirituality, very intuitive, very much based on emotions, very much based on, the freedom of thought and emotion, where your spirituality might be a little bit more technical, a little bit more quantum physics kind, as in it has to have a very strong intellectual or rational structure to it, where theirs is very much different. And that is why the union of these two elements, of these two inner worlds, can actually conjure up a beautiful and very, very strong alliance that is simply going to take care of both of your needs. Because this person might not have that much material needs, because their emotional magic is somewhat superior, because it makes them that much more attractive to everything that they need, especially in physical, while yours makes you very, very open to the truth. It makes you have a lot of influence on the mental sphere. So basically, one of you can be the heart and the other one the rationality, the mind, the logic. So this is going to be a very wonderful and very, very, very prosperous alliance for both of you. And, as a side note, if you're single and looking, well, then you can already guess the nature of this alliance. Now, for other people, this isn't about magic at all or anything spiritual, but it is just seeking for an appropriate job or career, but one which has to offer a very strong emotional satisfaction, as in it has to be your place in the world. It has to be, something that offers you the chance to feel alive, to feel important, to feel that your efforts, your sacrifices, your time and the energy you invest into it gives you something really positive back. Emotional values like appreciation, or you just being happy that you can do this work and you can invest all your strength and creativity into it, and it can offer you like material stability, but also, emotional nurture and everything that you might need from a job, so that it doesn't make you feel like a slave. Neither does it make you feel like, you're like on a fool's errand, that you can invest all the effort and power into it, but it's not gonna lead anywhere emotionally. So you want something rather creative, where you can invest all your strength and be appreciated. And on top of that, maybe there's some friends there, or maybe you can have a very positive and mutually supportive relationship with your colleagues. You're looking for something like that. And this is exactly why the Knight of Coins is reversed. You are so tired of seeking, looking, be the initiator, trying new things, going on interviews, thinking about all the solutions, all the plans. You don't want any of this anymore. You just want to find your place and be there and just do what you can. And for you guys, it's this wish and desire, and what you seek is what's gonna manifest. And the way you know that this is it is that emotionally you're gonna resonate with this job or offer, or in any other way that it might enter your reality, because it might be, where a family member or a very, very good or close friend or a friend of your family's offers you this. So emotionally it will instantly resonate, and that's how you know that, your time has come. Your opportunity is here. Now for other people still, it's actually quite the opposite, where that Knight of Coins represent that you had enough of your career, you had enough of your job, you had enough of sacrifices and struggles. So some of you guys are actually wanting to spend much more time with your family or certain people in your life who are very, very important to you. You guys, as in you and those people, have a very positive effect on each other. You make each other smile. You make each other feel really good. You are in your comfort zone emotionally. You don't have to hide or pretend or anything. So you feel really, really okay with these people. So you just want the chance to spend more time with them. So as I said, this can be your family. This can be, your child or your parent, or anyone who makes you feel really, really safe, and you can be yourself around them. So for you guys, this is a little bit different, because at first it's gonna be very, very complicated, because naturally what you desire and what your needs are also the needs of those people. So for you guys, this might involve either a family type of business, or doing something for material survival together. So it is, the forming of an alliance, but not an emotional alliance, because that already exists in your life. So it's just, you guys sitting down together, someone coming up with a really, really good idea, and everyone agreeing and starting something new together. But of course, this isn't going to be easy, but every person involved here has either a skill or a professional qualification or a relevant experience or know-how or a talent to contribute. So slowly but surely, it is definitely gonna come together, and then it's like living your dream, all of you together. For those of you who were attracted to the second pile, your cards are the Ten of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Fool. Now for you guys, this is a little bit difficult, because the Ten of Wands describes your present moment situation, which is not very pleasant. Now the Ten of Wands can symbolize more than one obstacle, burden, blockage, something that really weighs you down. It takes away your freedom, and it is simply starting to suffocate you, because whatever this Ten of Wands is, it's been going on for 10 years and even more for some people, and it has to do with obligations, but it's not 100% sure that it's an external obligation for everyone. It could be inner obligations where your soul just tells you, well, this is what you have to do. So it can be, for example, a professional life that is already a torture and a nightmare, and you just want to leave it, and you simply can't, because nothing comes as a saving grace in your life, not even one opportunity. So you're trapped in there. For other people, it has nothing to do with, career or job, but rather you're looking after, or you're like on a soul level or morally bound to someone, a child, parent, a less fortunate person who you're helping or you're caring for, or being there for your family, or a family member who is vulnerable or weak or cannot take care of themselves. But at the same time, this can also be like an emotional attachment or an emotional guilt for you not being able to leave someone behind, because you might be worried that they might get depressed or do something silly without you there. Or it simply can be a very, very long term depression of yours, which is simply almost invisible to you because you have been in these depressive vibes for more than 10 years, so you cannot really feel the difference of what it's like not to be depressed. So you might be carrying this very silent and latent depression on your shoulders for a lot of time now. And of course your life isn't very rosy, it isn't very lovely, it isn't very positive, but you might not really know why, because for you it might appear that you already shifted that depression, but actually it's still weighing on your shoulders. And why? Well, it's simple. How can you forget whatever triggered it? Because what triggered it was massive. Like, it was so bad that it would have killed off everyone that you know. An average person would have not endured that. It may be suicide, it may be you recovered from something really horrible. So basically it's not your fault whatsoever. It's actually a massive miracle that you're here and well and you're functioning and not even know that it still weighs you down. But either way, it doesn't matter what the ten of wands is, even if it's material problems, or if it's a person binding you down, or it's you feeling in debt to someone and taking care of them, or if it's just a depression, or the general symbolism of Ten of Wands is just worries, obligations, duties, you not being able to move freely, exist freely, love freely, live freely. So it's something that is taking away your soul level freedom. It can be material, emotional, psychological, whatever it is. So that is the general symbolism of the Ten of Wands. And this is your present situation. So you're so very fed up. You have absolutely not even a spark of hope anymore that it's gonna change. Even though a lot of things have happened in your life, and a lot of things were very positive, were very encouraging, were very hopeful, just that they were symbols, they were minor, more insignificant events that couldn't represent that massive life change, that massive divine lightning bolt hitting your life and terminating all that old situation and just pushing you into the new. So even though you had so many positive signs and encouragement, and you might have done a lot of inner work to get better, get more positive, get more stronger, and yes, it worked, absolutely, it wasn't in vain, but the end result is still not satisfactory whatsoever, so you might be really hopeless right now. And this is the symbolism of the Six of Swords, because all of this year, it was a massive transit, a transitioning away from the old, away from the past and into the future. But because your obstacles, regardless of their nature, are still there, well, you don't feel the transition as to be as productive, as fruit bearing, as prosperous, or as significant as it should be. But this is where, for you guys, it's gonna be a massive surprise, because this new moon, even though you might not have even the tiniest spark of hope in your heart, well, it's actually going to bring you freedom. And that is the symbolism of the Fool card. And in this particular Yoga Tarot deck, it represents a monkey. And a monkey is always free. It is always naughty. It is always fun. It can use dexterity in a way that very few animals can. And it is armed with super intelligence, but that intelligence is also instinctual. So it's alive inside the monkey all the time, and it steers it. It creates new adventures, new learning processes in its life. So the monkey is truly blessed to have its genes, basically. It is blessed by nature, and this is actually the life that awaits you. But how exactly it's going to play out is still a mystery, because it very much depends on your individual situation, and it's also karmic, so it depends on whatever past action, choices and decisions you have. But for you guys, it's not gonna be really a long process. It's not gonna be baby steps and anything like that, but it's actually gonna be what you expect, or how you expect it. A big moment, a flash, a lightning bolt striking down from the heavens and changing your life 180 degrees. Now, of course, when this enters your awareness, or it happens, you might be a little bit panicky or shocked or frightened, but very soon you're gonna figure out that this is what you were waiting for. So for you guys, not only are you gonna shed off all those wands, all the worries, all the burdens, all the duties, responsibility, but also because of that karmic event that is going to take place, well, you are really going to start to live your life, to live life for yourself, to live life for the joy of the experience. And chances are you guys are so well trained in life that, you know, potential negative experiences, the risk of getting hurt, bruised, offended, or whatever, or losing something, it doesn't frighten you anymore, not even the slightest. You couldn't really care any less about the dangers of life. You just want to immerse into the adventure, because this is what your inner child always wanted you to do. But as I said earlier, because of your obligations, you, either because of external circumstances or because of inner morality, you just couldn't do this step. And now all of this changes. Yes, it is diving into a very unknown, mysterious future where nothing is guaranteed, but you guys don't really care anymore, because this is exactly what you desire for yourself, to live the adventure with all the risks attached and anything. You feel that you're really, really capable of navigating through anything. And this is where the symbolism of the monkey is so very accurate, because you can dodge anything because of your life experience. And your life experience isn't just a knowledge, but it's deeply rooted into your instincts. So you can even navigate through life on autopilot and be absolutely fine. For those of you who have chosen the third pile, your cards are the Fool reversed, Six of Cups reversed, and Four of Swords. Now for you guys, this is a very, very karmic situation, because the Fool reversed is going back to around the year 2008, where very important and significant and life-changing karmic events have taken place in your lives, which started a new adventure, a new chapter of your personal journeys, both spiritually, professionally, in very, very many areas of life. It was like a new beginning for you. It wasn't easy, And of course, the overall journey until you got to this present moment, well, towards the end, it started to be really, really almost savage. And, you know, this is the moment when that chapter of your lives finally are closing, karmic completions are heading your way, the universe, fate herself, is basically ripping you away from the old, from that old past cycle, karmic cycle, and it's preparing you for something new, like a new beginning, but that new beginning isn't very clear yet because you have to make a choice. But this choice is not really made in a human way, but rather internally, as in on a soul level of what you want to do next in life. Now, this is where the Six of Cups reversed actually tells us that you were such a very powerful, active, intelligent, and willing person that you almost completed all of your major karmic themes that you were supposed to experience in this lifetime, which is really unusual because you are actually quite a young person. You haven't reached full maturity even yet, so you might be in your 40s or 50s, but karmically that's very, very young. You should have a lot of to-dos on your karmic list, but in such a very short period you might have actually quantum leaped and completed everything that was your duty in this existence, in this life. And this represents like work, what you have to do professionally, relationships, soul contracts, meeting certain people in this lifetime, so you can exchange the experiences, or you can help them, guide them, or impact their lives, and vice versa. And in a very surprising manner, it is already completed. Everything is completed. So the universe doesn't really know what to do because your to-do list is complete, but only you are the only person who doesn't know that there's nothing more on the list. And your hopes, dreams, and wishes are still very linked to your soul path. Just that you don't know that it's not an obligation anymore. It is, if you choose that, it is simply out of your own choosing, and not even the universe requires anything from you, because you worked your ass off, and I'm so sorry, and now you're free. So the universe is actually encouraging you to choose out of the purity of your heart, and not really out of any rationality, logic, or whatever, because it is more than willing to give you whatever you ask for. So it is actually kind of hinting, suggesting indirectly through synchronicities that you just choose a period of rest, regeneration, recuperation. Yes, of course, this involves a passivity, that you're much more passive, but when you're passive, you can enjoy life, you can do so very many things, but those so very many things might seem like bad ideas to you because of your past life experience, because when you're immersed into your karma, whatever you have to complete in this lifetime, well, of course you won't think about rest, you won't think about fun and games, relaxation, luxury, immersing into the big joys of life, but you rather thinking about how to be proficient, how to be very practical, how to do it with greater speed, how to advantage everyone from your work and stuff like that. But this is exactly the mentality that you really, really have to shift, because you have to acknowledge that you are free. So the universe actually wants to hear something different from you, as in your joys, your pleasures, what would relax you, what would offer you a period of time, maybe the next 12 years, where you can relax, regenerate, enjoy life, take it easy, go out, meet people who are very pleasant, But your childhood might be a big obstacle for this, because you might have been brought up in, in a very strict way, as in duties, obligations, tasks, chores, responsibility was deeply, deeply rooted in you, either by your parents or by your extended family. But you were really, really trained ever since you were a small child to hold a lot of responsibility for everything. So you might not even know what relaxation means. You might not even know what, doing something for the sheer sake of just doing it and no other goal attached to it means. For example, just reading a book not because it holds important information, for the simple fact that you were drawn to it, immersing into gaming like digital world, computer games, sports, free time activities, fun activities, stuff like that. But the universe can't actually give it to you if you don't ask it, or if it's totally unimportant inside of you. So you might be actually asking for more karmic work, symbolically, even if it's not your duty anymore. You might be asking for work for, you know, a new professional adventure, a new professional chapter of your life. And if you insist, of course the universe is going to give it to you, but it really, really wants you to know that you shouldn't make a choice out of obligation or spirit of duty or whatever, because in the eyes of the universe, you're already 100% free, and it would not want to, force you to work, force you to, as in a karmic sense. I'm not referring to material work as a job or stuff like that, but rather karmic work, karmic duties, whatever we have signed up to do in this lifetime before even we were born. So if anything, what the universe wouldn't like to hear from you is save the world, get into humanitarian activities, charitable activities, be there for other people, help, support, nurture others, because you already excessively done this. So if you're trying to take a retrospective look about your life, well, you should really take into consideration that for other people this may last for a lifetime, but not because they choose this, but because that is their own pace. Normal people or average people are infinitely slower than someone with your quantic mind. So of course you're 10 million steps ahead of everyone. So you shouldn't really compare yourself to any other professional. So the best way to choose is simply disconnect spiritually from, service to others. Disconnect from your superhero, being there for other people kind of attitude, and just try to wish something for yourself that your heart, your soul, your inner child would really like to experience. And that should be it for now, because life goes on in cycles, and if you wish for yourself a cycle of rest and regeneration, well, you'll have so many other opportunities to work and do whatever you want in the next 12-year cycle after this. So there is absolutely nothing wrong in resting, recuperating, and just spending the next 12 years with yourself and doing whatever is important for your human self. So for you guys, the conclusion and the message is that there isn't anything that the new moon is gonna manifest until you make that inner choice of what you would like to experience, and then the universe will go from there and start enabling that as, a cascade, as a chain reaction. Naturally, some things have to terminate in order to give space for something new to enter your life, but that new is going to be what you choose. If you want more work, that's absolutely fine. That is what the universe is gonna give you. But if you want something to experience something purely personally, that is actually what the universe wants you to figure out, because it's more than ready to give it to you. Well, thank you so very much for listening. Wish everyone a blessed and safe day. Until next time, bye for now.